Yo, we already got rows of flame in the building. My motherfucking dog was happening. Abundance of non-duality on this glorious Thursday. What's happening? What's happening, y'all? What's happening to all my motherfucking cosmic P pushers? The real principles stand upon us, if that makes sense. The ones who really standing on P. The ones who really pushing P. You know what I'm saying? Living this day in and day out. Giving this shit day in, day out. As promised, for last Sunday I told y'all we was gonna return to finish practical the chapter on practical Vedanta, right? The chapter on practical Vedanta, also known as Dvaita Vedanta, meaning not two, non-dual, right? Why is this important? Like, if you look at the title is called Practical Non-Dualism and how it can change your daily life. Because in our daily life, our mind is nothing but our mind produces thoughts, and our mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. And these thoughts create multiplicities. When we create multiplicities, we bound to run into some things that seems to not be in our favor. But what is that creation coming from? That creation comes from the mind. That's what we need to understand. That creation comes from the mind, the I, the mind, the ego, same thing. Um, when you get into more of the non-dualism Vedanta, hold on. Uh-oh. When you get more into the non-dualism of Vedanta, um, you'll see how they get to talking about how the mind and the ego is one whole thing. Like they really don't separate it. Like fuck going through the buddhi, the ahamkara, the chitta, the manas, none of that. Not none of that, but like let's go on and put it all together. That's the mind, and the mind is the creator of this duality reality. Now, the mind does not have to be your motherfucking enemy. You can make it. You see what I'm saying? What people are talking about, like I'm my own enemy. You don't have to be your own enemy. You can be your own enemy if that's what you choose to do, being your own enemy. You see what I'm saying? But that comes from also a certain um organized religion set, right? Where you automatically come into this world thinking you are a sinner. That's what we talked about last Sunday in a chapter where it starts you off with a weak and a less dignified stance on your worth, on your self worth, um, if there was a such a thing, or self esteem, um, and it really starts us off at the bottom. Am I coming through clear? Am I breaking up, y'all? Let me know if I'm breaking up. I don't know what the fuck going on. Let's see. Put that shit inside the Discord. I'm gonna make sure I ain't breaking up. Okay. Make sure I ain't breaking up. All right, I ain't breaking up. Rosa Flame said, all right, Rosa Flame said, was reading some of those lines as meditation after Sunday's reread. That's what's up. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm telling you, this non-dualism is no joke. And from my understanding, for my 13 years into the occult, this is exactly what we've been at least I've been looking for. You see what I'm saying? And that comes from past life mental impressions. You see what I'm saying? Um, as we talked about on the last live screen, one of the sages say, or a lot of the sages say, like they got a number that really is immeasurable, but like but at the least 35 million incarnations you had to go through to even get to the level of hearing, just hearing about knowledge of the self. And if you come from what I come from, your Bobby Hemmings, your brother Panics, your John Henry Clark's, and your Phil Valentine's, it was all about know thyself. And we just thought know thyself means know thy history. Since black people of United States, we typically don't know where the fuck we come from. Some say we Moors, some say we Native Americans that are Moors, and some say we pre we this is Egypt, we before Egypt, and some say we were before the Mayans and the Toltecs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool and fine and dandy. I'm more of the okay, yeah, we was here, but so the fuck what? Let's talk about the real shit. But the real shit was always know thyself. So that seemed like know your history. You see what I'm saying? And know who you are as a person within this reality of so-called patriarchy and what's the other shit people like to talk about? White supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So we thought it meant that, but comes to find out there's an ancient system that goes all the way back that still has a lineage of teachers and students, and it's been the methodology has been upgraded to a level where I feel it's more seizable for people and people right now in modern times, bro. Like, because it's a lot of shit that we go through. Like, we go through all these systems and learning this and have to learn that, and then doing this, then have to do that. Coop TGS. Got the right people in the building tonight. Oh, Rosa Flame said, definitely count it as a blessing to come across a greater Madonna in the beginning of my occult journey. Yeah, see, I had no idea about at the beginning of my shit. I had no knowing of it. You know what I'm saying? So obviously you hear it all in the occult shit, right? But nothing just directly that tapped into it. I didn't have it. That's very recent for me. And it's like riding a bike. It's like I've done this shit before. Like I just get the shit. You know what I'm saying? And obviously I've expressed my experience that I've also had too. So that kind of makes it more simplified for me understanding, especially if I just go off of my experience. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I like about a Adwaita Vedanta. They are addressing it with just straight experience. Like fuck all that other shit. Fuck knowing, you know what I'm saying, what part of the tree is this, or what moon is in Aquarius, and fuck knowing about your past lives, and fuck all that shit. You here right now and it's for a reason. We understand karma. We understand the rituals. We understand the gods and the deities. We all understand that already. By the time you get to this point, you understand that already. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe not. But that's the way in the sense that they talk. And it's like, let's get straight down to the business and knowing the self. You know what I'm saying? Knowing the self. And that's the end goal of any spiritual system. Think about it. Whatever type of yoga you do, whatever type of rituals you do, um, whatever type of spiritual system you go through, what's the end result? To know thyself, to know the true self, not you as the self, as the human being, as the person with the personality, as the person who's incarnated and reincarnated and incarnated and reincarnated and going through karma and with an attitude or with a happy, joyous feeling. That's not the self. That's the small lowercase I. That's the mind. The mind is what reincarnates, right? Rosa Flame said help to remove so much superstition and other silliness, and then Sankhya was wonderful as well. No, right, facts, and that's what this. If you, for those who are tuning in or will tune in on a replay with this, and that's what I ran through with the Dark Veil Lifted video. It's about negation. Like I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not that. So it gets to removing all those superstitions. You see what I'm saying? So that's why this shit is not really about building up, you know what I'm saying, like intellectual smart shit, intellectual spiritualism, I guess, if that's a word. Like building up how you know so much. This is about how much you don't know. About this shit is about how much you do not know. Because of what, how do we know things? Through our five senses. And this is what we're talking about. The self, pure unconditioned consciousness, which is a name, which is a title, is the best way we can give you a description of it, because ultimately it's not even that. You see what I'm saying? Do you think a blade of grass thinks itself to be, oh, I'm a blade of grass? No, human beings gave it that name using the mind and the ego to place labels upon things. That's what creates the separation from you and this ultimate divine thing. And that's what a Dwaita Vedanta is about. Let's take away the shit that you doing, that you making it separate. That's why, like, it's not really a path. This is really not a spiritual path. It's just a spiritual uncovering. You're just taking off the hat, taking off the shirt, taking off the tank top, the shorts, the socks, the shoes. You taking all. No, it's not even just you, Remix 40. Everybody's ego is out of control. That's what we're here to do. We're here to whip that bitch back into the point where it needs to be. which is why I walk through that. We'll have more sessions like that. In that Dark Veil Lifter video, we did the Drista video, I mean meditation, the seer and the seen, where you gotta walk through. Now we gonna get more into self inquiry, because that's why I say keep the observer standpoint going. Because who is that? The funny thing about when you observe your thoughts and not attach to them and not create another thought off of that thought and just observe them and let these thoughts pass through, guess what they start to do? This is from my own experience. They start to drop. Those thoughts start to drop. But you got to understand this is a process. How many? I think they say like your average person has like 80,000 thoughts a day. 80,000 thoughts a day. So it's not nothing that you need to be just perfecting. Oh, damn, today I latched on to a thought, man. I can't do this non-dualism shit. I can't do this, and then I can't. That's not what it's about. Because see, like, here's the thing about it. Even meditation, what's the ultimate goal? Is to get you to zone out those thoughts and focus on one thing. But that after you have to get past, the ultimate goal is getting past that one thing. It's about getting past that one thing. Even once you just get it down to one thing, to reach this certain experience. Here's the thing about it. Advaita Vedanta is saying that experience is always there. That one, that thing, that nothingness you're trying to get to, consciousness, the self, that what you're trying to get to is always there. It's always there. It was never not there. But you may catch a glimpse of it for like a quarter of a second. Literally, that's all it is. It can be just a quarter of a second where you breach through the mind and get this one glimpse of it. That's why it's so hard to explain. Even the experience I had was the best one that I could give. Because at that time, when I had that experience, I didn't even know shit about Advaita Vedanta. I didn't even know shit about too many of the Hindu gods. I had the consultation with Trav, and Trav like, bro, you know that's Brahma, right? Not Brahmin, but Brahma. And I took that like a little tap on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I took that like a little tap on the shoulder. I didn't even pay no attention. I guess my mind wasn't ready for it. And then sequences started happening in real life, and then boom, start running into it. Understanding. Right? I'm like, oh, that's the experience that I had. The observer observing the mind, the thoughts in the body. And it was fucking terrifying. Because there wasn't no playing shit to do. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no playing shit to do. It was fucking terrifying, but beautiful, very beautiful at the same time. Peace. Even within chaos. Right. Right. Damien Echoes did teaching recently about the elemental air in Zen that is synchronous with what you're saying. Okay. You may have to send me that. Let me check it out to see if my mind, if my ego feel like it aligns with me. So you may have to send me that, Road to Flame. So with this non-dual path, that's what it's leading us back to, that oneness. It's leading you to check that I. Because here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about this shit, right? Everything comes from the one. So it's hard to not say that this shit is not non-dual and actually, you know what I'm saying, really believe that, because everything we do starts from the I, the one. Because look at the number 15. It's nothing but one multiplied 15 times. All one did was replicate itself. That's it. One replicated itself. Whatever number you find is one replicated. Or you can say it's zero replicated. It's the number zero is nothingness, which is no thing, right? Which is chaos, which is the great triple black darkness, which is consciousness, is zero. So everything comes from that. Everything is a reflection of that. Everything is a multiplication of that one. And what creates that? That's the mind. You got to think about everything that we say. We can't even say nothing about our experience, which we finna get back to. We can't even say nothing about our experience without saying I first. I see 6, 7 people. I see people in the chat. I see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pictures. I see a blue sky, a cloudy sky, a rainy sky. I see a Benz truck driving down the street. I see a bitch that I don't like. I see a fuck nigga that I don't like. I see a nigga that I don't like. I see a white man that I don't like. I see a girl that I. You see what I'm saying? The I creates multiplicities. That's the ego. That's the mind. So it's everything is coming back from this one. Even though we're talking about the lowercase I, the ego, we're not talking about the big I, the self, the consciousness, which is where ego and mind emerges from. But don't be mad at the ego. You need to understand what it is. Because without that unconditional thing that we call consciousness or the self, it could not have experiences. You are the medium. You are the agent. What Bobby say? You are the agent carrying out God's work. Let me read this chat. So, Gnosis, can I clarify something? Do you believe in a personal interventional God? Of course. It's an intermediary. But ultimately, you got to know what it is. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what's an intermediary? Like, ultimately, I know. Damn, I can't think of nothing right now. But yeah, it's an intermediary. You got to know that that person of God is just an intermediary. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about, because it's not even really about the belief. You see what I'm saying? Some people just sit on. See, we in the West, we have been trained with faith and belief. See, when we get into this system, this has nothing to do with a faith based or a belief based system. This is just, this is just coming to knowing. This is just knowing the self. You know what I'm saying? That is exited out. Faith based and belief based. That's, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if that's what path you on, this probably won't work for you. Is what they speak about. But you can also still use it. You can still use it. You know what I'm saying? But the ultimate goal is to get to understand, like, this right here is an intermediary that represents something. This form that's been created is here to represent the formless, a aspect of the formless. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully that cleared it up. If not, say something in the chat, remix for it. I clear it up again. Rave 636, peace. Rave 636 says, peace, Gnosis, peace to that, peace to the chat at work, listening and sharing the session and showing support. Appreciate you, brother, for showing up. Okay, I see your comment. Remix 40, give me a second. Coop TGS says, in non-dual, they say you are not the doer. It sounds dualistic, except the doer is an illusion. There is only the one. That's it. That's it. You're not the doer. Remember, we went through, even in action, you are in action. You are inactive. And when you're inactive, you're still active. It's a paradox, right? It's a paradox because when action is happening, you, the true self, is not the doer. You have no attachment to none of this. You're just the observer. And even when you're doing, and even when you're not doing, you're still doing. Even when you're not doing, you're still doing. Even when you're doing, you're not doing. You still not. Because the ultimate reality is this whole reality. So it is doing, but it's not doing at the same goddamn time. So it's the great nothingness and it's everything at the same time. It's no thing and it's everything at the same goddamn time. Remix 40 says, so is it symbolic? Yes. It always has been symbolic. That's why they say man created gods. God didn't create man, man created the gods. The gods. The gods. Because gods are an illusion, ultimately. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So it's like your name is an intermediary. Your name, you are not really. My name is really not. Obviously, it's not no way or gnosis. But let's say your name is James. You That's an intermediary to to be specific to you, so you can know when someone's talking to you. Your name is not really James. You were attached that name. You see what I'm saying? It's an intermediary. Ultimately, your name is an illusion. If you study commercial law, you know that type of shit. But ultimately, your name is an illusion. Your soul is not named James. You, as pure unconditioned consciousness, is not named James. You know what I'm saying? That's not who you are. But it's an intermediary to be specific. You see what I'm saying? If you want to deal with a specific aspect of the ultimate reality or pure unconditioned consciousness or the source, whatever you want to call it, if you want to deal with a specific aspect of that, you carve out an image. You give that image a name, you give it a title, and you give it certain you assign it to certain aspects to perform certain things. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully that's making sense. But it's an intermediary. Okay, Remix 40 said, yeah. It's a real paradox. And then they don't even talk about it because it cannot be expressed in words. And that's really it. So that's why the ultimate level is silence. The ultimate level is silence. And of course, you're going to be like, well, damn, I can't never get the mind to shut up. Sometimes that's not what it's about. You have to understand that there is this silence witness and start to identify with that. I've been playing around with that. Is it playing around? Let's say that playing around with that. And then just stepping back. How do you even describe it? Like, because stepping back, like you got legs there as that aspect. But no, it's like this observer is just pure silence, bro. That's all I know how to say. Because I've had this, I told y'all about my experience. It was just pure silence. And it just watched. While those other three aspects of me was yapping, and doing, just watched. So I had like a taste of what that's like. It's very difficult to explain because you're like, yeah, so I'm sitting there watching, but it's just like how you watching me on what's the name? Just watching me on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But right now you engaging. Say if you wasn't engaging and you had no attachment to none of the words that I'm saying, you didn't identify with none of the words that I'm saying. It's that pure silence. So that silence is not attaching yourself to those thoughts that keep popping up. Yes. So it's not even, I even heard a teacher say it's not even meditation, because meditation is to get you to focus on one thing. This is beyond getting you to focus on one thing. But yes, it can, for lack of better terms, yes, we can call it a meditation. For lack of better terms, we can call it a meditation. For lack of better terms, we can call it meditation, but it's really what we just gonna call being, just pure being. That's why, like what we saying, it's so hard to describe this shit. Like, cause whatever thing you're gonna give it is just, it's not gonna be sufficient. But what I can tell you this is, keep putting yourself in observer mode. Keep putting yourself in observer mode. Your thoughts, your feelings. That's really what we are. That's all we are anyway. Obviously, your body, if you can. And tuning everything out is gonna be even harder. So you don't even have to tune out. It's not about. It's less about trying to erase this shit and get this shit away from me, and more about not attaching. Like, let's do it like this. This pops up. I can be like, ooh, that's a Sharpie. Ooh, I like the way it's shaped. Ooh, I like the way it's written on. Look, ooh, yeah, man, that's my favorite Sharpie. Then boom. Ooh, I like this Sharpie. Ooh, look about this Sharpie. Think about that Sharpie. Ooh, this Sharpie, this Sharpie. Damn, I remember when I was in elementary, my first time using a Sharpie, I touched the Sharpie. Oh, yeah, that Sharpie do real good on this type of paper. And then here come another Sharpie. Ooh, look at that Sharpie. I like the way that Sharpie color. That Sharpie painted real nice, and it look how it look. It look like it ain't never been used before. That's what you don't want to do. Stillness, right? Pure observatory. So when a Sharpie shows up, it's like, see, now the Sharpie wants you to have all those thoughts here, because the Sharpies represents thoughts. So these thoughts pop up. Here's a Sharpie pen, and it's representing a thought. It pops up, and it's a thought of, Ooh, look, man, I just seen that girl. I just seen that girl. Her ass was fat, bro. That motherfucker fat. Then I think about what it be like hitting that motherfucker from the back. Yeah, no, don't latch on to that. And thoughts will keep popping up. Thoughts will keep popping up. Thoughts will keep popping up. They keep popping up. So the more you don't attach and have a counter thought to that thought, they start doing this, dropping. They just start dropping. Thoughts just start dropping. But don't think you're not getting no progress when other thoughts come up and you start having conversations or thoughts about those thoughts. You have to understand this. You have to understand that because the average person they say has 80,000 thoughts. So if you anxious, if you over anxious and you over happy and you over this, you know what I'm saying? It's like shit, you may be doing better than a lot of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And not even from a judgmental standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the mind does. It creates distractions. It creates thoughts for you to latch on to. And those thoughts that you latch on to ultimately build up what? I'm probably they ultimately build up other thoughts and other shits for you to attach to and build up stress and strife and headache and heartache. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about. Moving beyond that, because that's where suffering happens. We all the suffering happens in the mind. We attach ourselves to what could happen in the future or what happened in the past. All right. Cool TGS says you're watching this live stream. Who is watching you watch? That's the type of time you got to be on. Who is that watching you watch? So if we can even say who's that watching you watch, that means something else has to be watching that watcher watching. And that is what we're going for. That is what we're going. That is the goal. That is the self. That's observing that which is observing the watcher watching whatever's being watched. You see what I'm saying? That's so true about those thoughts. They will keep showing up in your head, especially with lust. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna keep showing up. And that's what meditation is trying to help you. And some of these non-dualists, they ain't with that shit. They like, man, listen, man, them little tricks and shit. They playing games with all that goddamn meditation and shit. Because they trying to hold them thoughts and then eventually their mind comes back when they come out of that meditation. And the mind's coming with thoughts. And thoughts are still coming. Thoughts are still coming. That's child's play. The real game here is those thoughts are going to come. That's what the mind does. That's what it does. You have to stop attaching yourself to that and stop identifying with that. Stay persistent. Remember, the mind is built. See, here's the paradox because you got to use the mind. You see what I'm saying? You got to use the mind. So don't make it your enemy. If you want to, do that and watch how hard that motherfucker fight back. It's already going to fight back because you ain't giving it the attention it wants. You ain't feeding into his bullshit. So watch how hard that motherfucker fight back. Let's see, y'all. We finna finish up this chapter though. Damn, I forgot I need to send myself the damn link. Shit. Was I supposed to do? Oh, invite. Okay. We become mental slaves of our own doing. That's it. We become slaves to the mind. See, the thing about it, make the mind work for you, not work for the mind. You see what I'm saying? That's the goal. Let's not work for the mind. Let's let the mind work for us. How you know when you working for the mind? Because you are caught up in your thoughts and everything that pops up in your thoughts. Oh man, maybe they think they talking about me over here. They doing this and they hating on me over here at my job and they doing this at work or they, you know what I'm saying? This person doing this or why I can't do this. I ain't never good at this. I should be better at this. I should have this much money by now. You know what I'm saying? I should be this and I should have this type of character and I need to get better at that because I ain't good at it. Like the mind is going to give your ass something to do. You see what I'm saying? That's what the mind is. That's what the mind is. It's going to give you something to do. Stop falling for that. That's why it's like, shut the fuck up, be still. And it doesn't mean literally. You need to identify with stillness. You need to identify with silence, the silent witness. All right. Gonna get this pulled up here so we can goddamn to the studio. Get this camera set up. Oh shit. This camera set up. That's right. That's it right there. Rafe 636. Damn, I'm missing some more comments. Hold up. Zero. What's happening? Just practicing just practicing the do nothing meditation. Say this. I have improved a lot this week. Yesterday I experienced the observer mode deep. That's what I'm talking about, Zero. That's what I'm talking about. Right, Remix 40, creating attachments. Liberate yourself. Rose Flame says, um, can't remember where the quote comes from. The mind produces thoughts in the same way. Damn it, I lost it. The mind produces thoughts in the same way the tongue produces saliva. Facts. Damn, I like that one. Let's put that one up on the screen. The mind produces thoughts in the same way the tongue produces saliva. And you got to remember, I got the video that's dealing with monitoring spirits and what is it really about? Thought forms and how they come into your sphere. They find and let thought forms latch on to a vibration or let's just say vibration, right? A frequency. If you're on that frequency, then a thought will come in. It don't even have to be of the same nature of the thought, but something on the same frequency. So if you're on a frequency of fear, any type of thing that deals with fear can come into your sphere, into your mind, into your akasha, into your mind, the fucking element of the mind in general, and enter and produce other thoughts and just hope you latch on to them. Then it grows. If you want to think a frequency of love, hey, boom, it's coming in and it's gonna latch on and then you know what I'm saying, continuously grow. That's how this shit works. I'm guilty of it. Keep Star says, I'm guilty of this shit. I hate when my mind does, but I've gotten way better at shaking it off. That's all it's about, bro. That's all it's about. Shake it. You're like getting better with this shit. That's why I keep pushing. Stay in observer mode the most you can. And always, every time that sentence comes up, man, I feel like this, man. I don't like that. Who is that I? Who is this I? Keep asking that, and you will get a profound result. Who is this I? Every time someone's referring back to their I, who is this I? Ask it. Who is this I? And see what you get. Alan Watts talked about this, I think. Damn, I missed that. Have you heard of Do Nothing movement? Nah, I never heard of that. Never heard of the Do Nothing movement. Jack Cornfield, Buddhist / meditation teacher. Okay. Okay. Let's get into this chapter, y'all. Well, let's finish up this chapter. This is gonna be a real short one tonight, unless we just get to talking. Oh, this is gonna be a real short one tonight, y'all. Let's see. Damn it. Give me a second. Shit. Okay, remove that. Damn it. How do I normally have this shit set up? What the fuck is that? Is it showing big on y'all screen? What the fuck is that, bro? Come on, bro. Hey, man, I need y'all to let me know how this shit is showing up on the screen. Is it showing up clear? What about now? See, when I do StreamYard, this shit be whatever the fuck it is. What about now? How's it showing up? Oh, I forgot I can do that solo layout. See how small that shit showing up? That shit crazy as hell. Boom. Okay. That should do it right there, y'all. That should do it right there. All right. So, where we left off at, right? So, the whole idea of Vedanta ethics is that it does not depend on anything unknowable, nor does it teach anything unknown. On the contrary, it teaches in the language of St. Paul, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. Whom therefore you ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. You are that which you are. Hold up. So that's up to y'all. What y'all want to do? Y'all want to go through all four of the practical Vedanta chapters? Let me know in the chat. I need everybody here who is active with this shit. Let me know. Do y'all want to continue to read all four of these chapters of practical Vedanta? I'm down with it. I don't want to do what somebody else don't want to do though. If we get enough in the chat, we'll finish it up. You know what I'm saying? It is. Rose of Flame say definitely. We got one. Y'all put that in the chat. Let me know. Coop TGS says sound good to him. Okay. We got two. Y'all let me know. Do y'all want to continue? So I'll check the chat in a minute. So it says, it is through the self that you know everything. I see this chair, but to see the chair, first I have to perceive myself. Here we go again with this self shit. I see the chair, but to see the chair, first I have to perceive myself and then the chair. It has to be, see what I'm saying? That's where the dualistic shit comes from. It has to start with the one first. Zero said yes. This shit has to start with the one first. It's got to start with the one. You see what I'm saying? So when these Abrahamic religions that we were brought up in is talking about one goddamn God, nigga, they was right. Now, whatever they traditions and dogma and superstitions is probably some folly shit, but this is humans. This is what all humans do. You get into occultism, they got tradition and superstition and all that shit going on too. Ain't no different. Because that's what humans do. That's what the mind does. All right. You're gonna see in that next book, we going beyond that type shit. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, Ray 636 says sounds good. So, all right, we'll continue this then, y'all. All right, bet. So I see the chair, but to see the chair, first I have to perceive myself and then the chair. It is in and through the self that the chair is perceived. It is in and through the self that you are known to me, that the whole world is known to me. And therefore, to say that this self is unknown is sheer nonsense. All right. Take away the self, and the whole universe vanishes. That's what I put that on the what's the name? Like these deities, these spheres of existence, these dimensions, these stars, these planets, these dogs, these cats, the me and your, you know what I'm saying? Me, you, these sigils, these rituals, these meditate. None of that exists without you, the real you. None of those things exist. They borrow their existence from you, the pure unconditioned consciousness, the light. All these existences are borrowed from you, literally, not figuratively. Need niggas to understand that. Take away the self and the whole universe vanishes. In and through self, all knowledge comes. Therefore, it is best known. Therefore, it is the best known of all. That's what I'm saying. We talking about here. We ain't talking about some shit that you don't know. That's why they run through your everyday experiences, which is what we're gonna go through in that next book. And shit that I've already been talking about. We run through everyday experiences. You ain't gotta learn no methodology to work this system. It's simple, but it's so simple that it's difficult. Why is it so difficult? Because we so attached to systems. Oh, I'm working with Lord Ganesh. I gotta learn this about Lord Ganesh and learn that about Lord Ganesh and learn this about Lord Ganesh. And oh, your Lord Ganesh likes curry burned, or and Lord Ganesh likes like what the fuck? You gotta learn all of that shit. This is not promoting that. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with none of that. Obviously, I'm not. Hopefully, you understand that that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is all of that is a tool for you to ultimately, maybe some people worship Lord Ganesh for lifetimes and then finally get to this lifetime and understand the knowledge of self and start tapping into the knowledge of self, which is probably why I was attracted to Lord Ganesh. It is. And my name was No Way. No obstacles will apprehend you. Hence, the god of obstacle remover, of removals. God damn it. The king of the elementals. All right. Therefore, it is best known of all. It is yourself that which you call I. Here we go. You may wonder how this I of me can be the I of you. You may wonder how this limited I can be the unlimited infinite. He's talking about the capital I, not the lowercase I, not the ego. But it is so. The limited I is mere fiction, ego, the mind, right? The infinite has been covered up, and as it were, the infinite I has been covered up, as it were, and a little of it is being manifested as the I. All right, there's a lot of I's in there. Is this making sense? Do I need to run back through that? Because what he's saying is the infinite I is the same I as you and I. We are no different in the infinite I. We only get down to when we get to the limited I, the mind, the ego, the whole conglomerate of the mind. That's when the separation starts. That's when the separation starts. But if we talk about the ultimate I, the self, which is what we on a journey of knowledge of the self, of oneness, which it always has been and always will be, until you get to the mind that sees separateness, that places boundaries. How do you see separateness? There has to be a boundary set. See what I'm saying? What is that? If you know that's Prakriti, right? You know that's nature. That's the divine feminine principle. If you know that's Bina, the breaker down of force and limiting of the forces to create something. All right? That's Mayat in the Egyptian pantheon. Let's get to it. You may wonder how this limited I can be the unlimited infinite, but it is so. The limited I is a mere fiction. The infinite has been covered up, as it were, and a little of it is being manifested as the I. Limitation can never come upon the unlimited. It is a fiction. The self is known. Therefore, to every one of us, man and woman or child, and even the animals, without knowing it, we can neither live nor move nor have our being. Without knowing the Lord of all, we cannot breathe or live a second. The God of Vedanta is the most known of all and is not the outcome of imagination. This is not preaching a practical God. How else could you preach a practical God? Where is there a more practical God than him whom I see before me, a God omnipresent in every being, more real than anything we see through our senses? For you are he, the omnipresent God Almighty. And if I say you are not, and if I say, hold up, and if I say you are not, I tell an untruth. I know it, whether all times I realize it or not. He is the oneness, the unity of all, the reality of all life and all existence. You see what I'm saying? If you get lost when he's saying he, if you get lost when he's saying God, that's your ego. Your ego don't like that because you don't like those words. But that's just a word. It's just a word. It's just a word, bro. Let me read these comments. That's right. A lot of confusion and misinformation comes with attachments. Facts. Okay, damn, I'm missing some shit. Cool TGS says images don't even exist above high. See what I'm saying? Once you get into those higher what's the names, ain't no more images. And that's also what helped me understand this shit by working through the tree of life. Once you get up, by the time you get past Gebra and Hased, or by the time you get past Tifereth, images stop showing up. There is no images. That's what they working with here. Fuck it, because ain't no image for Brahman. They don't have one. Ain't no image for the Atman, which is what they call in pure unconditioned consciousness, right? There's no image for it. How could you create one? Guess what? That God of the Bible said the same thing. Don't create false engraven images. That's a God of chaos. That's a God of chaos right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Concepts don't even exist above Kether. It's a trip to think on. Facts, cool TGS. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's how I was able to connect the dots by studying the tree of life. So we go through these processes of concepts and systems and all of that, and you know what I'm saying, practical magic and all of that shit. We go through all of that, but ultimately it should be leading us here, or we just playing the fuck around. That's right. A lot of confusion. Okay, yeah, I read that. Zero said, when I started this path in 2020, I started with non-duality teachings. But at that moment, I didn't understand it. Then when I started learning from Trav and you all differently, I now understand it for real. Facts. It's a process. Facts. Brave 636 said, definitely making six, brother. Okay. Cool T just said, I realize you never can know someone. What a person truly is goes so deep, yet it's the essence of all of us. Facts. Paradox. Paradox. Para fucking docs. Sunshine chick, what's happening? My fellow P pusher, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So this is what we working with, y'all. This is what we working with. All right. These ideas of ethics of Vedanta have to be worked out in detail. And therefore, this is what we left off last week. Therefore, you must have patience. You must have patience. As I have told you, we want to take the hold on. As I have told you, we want to take the subject in detail and work it out thoroughly to see how these details have grown from a very low level and how the one great idea of oneness has developed and became shaped into the universal love. We are to study all these in order to avoid dangers. It's about to get into it, y'all. All right. The world cannot find time to work it out from the lowest steps, But what is the use of our standing on higher steps if we cannot give the truth to others coming afterwards? What's the use if we can't pass it down? What's the use if I can't talk about it on my YouTube channel? What the fuck is the use? But what is the use of our standing on high steps if we cannot give the truth to others coming afterwards? Therefore, it is better to study in all its workings. It is first, it is absolutely necessary to clear the intellectual proportion. Although we know that intellectually, hold up. Although we know that intellectually is almost nothing, for it is the heart that is the most important. It is through the heart that the Lord is seen, and through the intellect. The intellect is a steer channeler. That's what I've been saying. That's the shit that's driving the car. A steer cleaner. I mean, a street cleaner. My bad. My bad. It is a street cleaner. The intellect is a street cleaner. It's for discernment, right? The intellect is a street cleaner, cleansing the path for us. A secondary worker, a policeman. Let's highlight that. The intellect is a street cleaner, cleansing the path for us. A secondary worker, a policeman. That's what hard is, nigga. It's a cleaner upper. But the policeman is not a positive necessity for the workings of society. Uh-oh. But the policeman, the intellect, is not a positive necessity for the workings of society. He is only to stop disturbances, to check wrongdoing. And that is all the work required of the intellect. Let's highlight that whole thing. That's all the work that's required of the intellect. Clean this shit up. Let's get this shit cleaned up and out the way so we can get to the real thing we trying to do. When you read intellectual books, you feel when you have mastered them, bless the Lord that I am out of them. Hold up. When you read intellectual books, you feel when you have mastered them, in quotations, bless the Lord that I am out of them. Because the intellect is blind and cannot move of itself. The intellect is blind and cannot move of itself. The intellect is blind and cannot move of itself. Who does that sound like? If you study Samkhya Darshan, sounds like Prakriti, don't it? Because the intellect is blind and cannot move of itself. It has neither hands nor feet. It is feeling feeling that works, that moves the speed infinitely superior to that of electricity or anything else. Do you feel? That is the question. If you do, you will see the Lord. The feeling that you have today will be intensified, deified, raised to the highest level till you feel the oneness in everything, till you feel God in yourself and in others. The intellect can never do that. The intellect can never do that. That's why those super intellectual people suck at spirituality. I'm just going to say the shit. That's why those super intellectual niggas suck at spirituality. That's why those super intellectual people become atheists. Because they're stuck in that process. They're stuck in policing and, oh, that doesn't make sense. That shouldn't be here. That doesn't make sense. That shouldn't be here. That doesn't make sense. That shouldn't be here. That's not right. That's not true. Because look, 2 + 2 = 4. That can't be right. There can't be no God. We're just nothing. We're here doing nothing and nothing and this and this and that. Hey, Don Tree, peace, my dog. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Cosmic P pushing motherfucker. Your principal standing on motherfucker. So, like I said, because I like to listen to atheists as well. And just listen to them. They are very logical. They say a lot of logical sense. And that's why we've moved into this era, bro. We in this era of a whole bunch of logical shit. You know what I'm saying? Logic is only good for the information that's put in front of it. Logic is only good for the information that's put in front of it. When you don't have the proper data and information, then what do you do? What you gonna do? That's why people lean on faith. See what I'm saying? That's why people lean on faith. That's why people lean on how they feel, intuitive things. It don't make logical sense. The spirituality shit does not make logical sense. Especially when you get to this highest part that we talking about, this shit beyond Kether. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you get to talking about the self, knowledge of self, don't make logical sense. There are books on it. They can't, scientists cannot tell you what consciousness comes from. They're telling you it comes from the brain. No. They can't even agree what the mind is. No. But it's okay because ancient motherfuckers have done it. We have done it. We have already answered that question. It's been answered for thousands and thousands of years. And thousands and millions, however many. It's been answered. But we are living in a completely logical sense, and you'll see the logic does not help us progress in a way that we really want to be progressing. That's why relationships suck. Men say this and women say that. All this a lot that make that make logical sense. But the shit don't ever work. The shit don't ever work. Ignorance. So damn smart you're stupid. And I can refer to myself. I've been in that position that I've been so goddamn smart that I'm stupid. And I mean stupid. Over logic. Too over logic. That's why niggas magic never worked for them. Some people shit didn't. Cause you're too logical. Like, I'm gonna tell you when my best magic days was before I picked up a book that says do this ritual like this. I created my own shit. All my magic. Anyway, I created my own shit. I got the concept and I know what I was doing. Okay, run with it. Run with it. It made no logical sense. Oh, you have to turn this to the east and stand to the west and hold your hand up to the right sky and then do this and then that. Hey man, my teacher taught me, Bobby Hemmett. Said, what's the best ritual? Your own goddamn ritual. Create your own goddamn ritual. This is what this shit is about, the mind. And now we're talking about beyond the mind. I created my own shit. And then I be forgetting the shit. Yeah. I got some powerful oil right here that I created back in like 2020. I don't know what the fuck is in here no more. Besides olive oil, that's about it. Besides olive oil, that's all I know. I don't know what else is in here. And it looked like it's some goddamn um some green shit. I don't know what the fuck I did. Cause it came to me intuitively. I learned how to listen to those feelings that came through intuitively. All right. That's the type of atheist I was. Oh yeah, I forgot you said you was an atheist, Rosa Flame. Well, welcome to the bright side, brother. Welcome to the middle path. Cool TGS said deductive reason. The brain is a secondary organ. Okay. Remix 40 said egoism is evil. Yeah, okay. Rafe 636 said talk that talk, bro. Self creation with imagination is the best form. Facts. Rosa Flame says the individual who loves God but does not love his fellow man is getting nowhere. Know what I was saying on my shit the other day? Motherfuckers talking about they love God, they want God to be graceful to them and acceptance of them, but everybody got something else to say about somebody else. That's what I'm talking about with the Be Simone shit. Everybody just trashing her and trashing her and trashing her. And like, but I bet when your ass going, like I said, let's put all of our life up under a fucking microscope. niggas and bitches. But let's put all our life up under a microscope. Every little fucked up thought you had, every little slick slide thing you'd have never done, and let's look at your shit. But you judge me. Only God can judge me. Oh. But you don't do that same shit to your brother. Same shit in the Bible. Like, hey, you don't love your God because you don't love God. If you did, you wouldn't walk past your brother shrugging your shoulders up at him every day, turning your nose up at him every day. But you want motherfuckers to have grace and understanding for you, though. Come on, man. Come on, man. I was one of them niggas too, especially coming from the street life that I came from. You see what I'm saying? You couldn't have none in that environment. I'm in a fucking war zone. Niggas trying to kill me. And man, come on, man. I be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't know that niggas know where we at. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, Grace who? Think about Grace later after you shoot first, nigga. Brave 636 said Bobby Hemmett doesn't miss. Not one time. Not one time. Let's continue. The intellect can never do that, right? Different methods of speaking words, different methods of explaining the textbooks. These are for the enjoyment of the learned, not for the salvation of the soul. It's not for the salvation of the soul. Like, we doing this to get it through to the intellect so the intellect can discern. Like, okay, I don't need that. I don't need to know all that. Okay, move all that out the way. There's the goal. That's what the intellect is for. There's the goal. I know what I'm going for. Eventually, I'm gonna have to drop all this intellectual shit. That's why I don't care about speaking the best. You know what I'm saying? I can't pronounce all the goddamn words. Hell, Rose of Flame be helping me pronounce words. And I'm okay with that. My ego is not in the way. You know what I'm saying? It came to a point where he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if I'm intrude. Like, hell no, bro, help me because I don't know how to pronounce the goddamn word. You see what I'm saying? Like, I ain't getting on here to trying to be like, oh, nigga, I'm the smartest nigga. You niggas stupid. I'm smart. You niggas stupid. I get it. You niggas don't. Follow me, nigga. No. No. I'm here to talk about my real life, real experiences, put it into context. Hey, this is what I got from it. Let's share it with y'all. What y'all getting from it? Let's talk about it. Let's get in the chat. This ain't about like let's pump our spiritual ego up. Let's get the ego juices flowing. Let's get the intellect juices flowing. Yeah, nigga, use intellect when it's time to pay them goddamn bills, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Use intellect at your goddamn job. Shit, even use it when you're reading. Even use it when you're making up your bed and washing under your nut sacks. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? But let's know that that's not the end goal. We're not trying to just be smart spiritual people. We're trying to realize the self. Verse 636 said, that's one thing those ignorant individuals won't like is being the center of judgment, but will always be quick to call out somebody else, bro. Come on, man. It's a lot of that in our community. I can't even Rosa Family said I can't even pronounce a bunch of them, but we have the blessing of technology. You see what I'm saying? I can't do it at the same time while I'm reading. Rosa Flame come through and bro, he'll type it out the best way for me to pronunciate it. And I'm like, God damn, nigga, you's a blessing. Shit. Carbon Puzzle Piece. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, Captain? What's happening, Captain? What's happening, Captain? So let's do that one more time, y'all. It says different methods of speaking words, different methods of explaining the textbooks. These are for the enjoyment of the learned, not for the salvation of the soul. Those of you who have read Thomas A. Kempis know on every page he insists on this, and almost every holy man in the world has insisted on it. Intellect is necessary, for without it we fall into crude errors and make all sort of mistakes. The intellect checks these. But beyond that, do not try to build anything upon it. That's it. It's just It's just there for a check system. Don't try to build up on it because people have their whole identity built up around their intellect. People like, spirituality don't work for for intellectuals. No, religion don't work for intellectuals. Then you see the type of shit that these people be talking about and be like, well, hey, you know what? Everything you're saying is fucking intellectual. Every fucking thing. I'm looking for some shit that don't make fucking sense, but it makes sense type shit. See what I'm saying? It makes it don't make no sense to my intellect, but somehow that shit makes the best perfect sense. When we talking about consciousness, we talking about chaos, as in the occult term of chaos. It don't make no sense, but it makes perfect fucking sense. It's beyond the intellect. It's beyond the intellect. Intellect is necessary, for without it we fall into cruel errors and make all sorts of mistakes. Intellect checks these, but beyond that, do not try to build anything upon it. It is an inactive secondary help. The real help is feeling love. Did you niggas hear that? Intellect is necessary, but without it, we fall into cruel errors and make mistakes of all sorts. Intellect checks these, but beyond that, do not try to bring anything upon it. It is inactive. It is inactive and secondary help. The real help is feeling love. For all my haters out there, for all those haters out there, yeah, maybe nigga really love you. You really love a nigga. You really love your haters. Love your haters. Love the haters, man. Love them. All right. Do you feel for others? If you do, you are growing into oneness. If you do not feel for others, you may be the greatest intellectual giant ever born, but you will be nothing. Do you hear that? If you do not feel for others, you may be the greatest intellectual giant ever born, but you will be nothing. You are but dry intellect, and you will remain so. You are nothing but a dry intellect, and you will remain so. I gotta highlight that. The greatest intellectual giant ever born, but will be nothing. You are but a dry intellect, and you will remain so. And if you feel, hold up, let's see what he say. And if you feel, even if you cannot read any books and do not know any language, you are on the right way. The Lord is yours. Huh? You do not know, for the history of the world, where the power of hold on, what did it say? Do you not know from the history of the world where the power of the prophets lay, where it is in the intellect? Did any of them write a fine book on philosophy on the most intricate damn ratio citations? What the fuck? RATIOCINATIONS. I know that's ratio cinations. Ratio cinations? What the fuck does that mean? Where you at, Rose of Flame? What the fuck does the most intricate ratio insinuations? Ratiocinations. The fuck does that mean? Rose of Flames, if you can, please help me out. But we're gonna keep going. Did they write the most intricate book of logic? Not one of them. They only spoke a few words. Feel like Christ and you will be Christ. Feel like Buddha and you will be Buddha. It is feeling that is the life, the strength, the validity, without which no amount of intellectual activity can reach God. Intellect is like limbs without the power of locomotion. Do you hear that? Intellect is like intellect is like limbs without the power of locomotion. Useless. It is only when feeling enters and gives the intellect motion that it moves and works on others. That is so all over the world. That is so all over the world. And it is a thing which you must always remember. And it is a thing which must always remember. It is one of the most practical things of Vedantic morality. For it is the teaching of Vedanta. Oh shit, we at the end, y'all. It is the teaching of Vedanta that all the prophets and hold up. It is the teaching of Vedanta that you are all prophets and you all must be prophets. You right here tuning in right now. All of y'all are prophets. And you must be prophets. Let's see. Okay. Cool T just said that shit don't make no sense. I remember someone asked Bobby, aren't you scared of going to hell? He said, man, hell is where I'm trying to go. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna get me a soundboard one day, bro. And I'm gonna have like a lot of shit, like some of them words that Panic you said, like Boffa man. And then get some of that Bobby Hemming. Y'all all right? And some of that stop thinking like a goddamn human. The shit. The shit. Look, fuck the dumb shit. I'm gonna get me a soundboard. We're gonna have some fun on this motherfucker, bro. I'm gonna get one real soon. He said, hell is what shit, man. Hell is where I'm trying to go. Rosa Flame says, some alchemy practice. Took a little camping trip and someone stole our firewood. And at first I was like, steal from a witch ma? But then I said, nah, this is the opportunity for growth. That's all I'm talking about, Rosa Flame. So I said, steal from a witch, and I'm sending you a bunch of love since you clearly need it. Facts. They clearly needed it. These boys dry out here. They don't stand on no pee. What you say, cotton pulls a piece? They dry out here. They ain't standing on no pee. Ratiocination, the process of exact thinking and reasoning. Oh, so basically saying the prophets weren't doing no pure logic and exact thinking and reasoning, none of that shit. They telling you what it is, rolling off the tongue, straightforward with it. And then you get the intellectual motherfuckers who want to write it down and then, oh, let's put it like this and then write it like this, which is where a lot of shit get mixed up with, right? Damn, I was gonna show y'all the book one of the books that I was reading, but fuck it, it ain't near me. Okay, Ray 636 say, please do that, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, bro. That shit gonna make this shit even funner. This shit gonna make this shit even funner. I seen one on Amazon. Seen one on Amazon. Birthday coming up, so I might get that for a birthday gift to my goddamn self. Bobby Heenan Bobby Heenan and Brother Panic on a soundboard will be genius, bro. I'm telling you, that shit gonna be lit. That shit gonna be lit. We gonna keep the OGs. We gonna keep the OGs pumping. That's a fact. Hold up, y'all. Let's finish this one. Scripture is not the proof of your conduct, but you are the proof of the scripture. Do you hear that? Scripture is not the proof of your conduct, but you are the proof of scripture. You do know that a book teaches truth, right? Because you are truth and you feel it. That is what Vedanta says. What is the proof of the Christ and Buddhas of the world? What is the proof of them? That you and I feel like them. This is how you and I understand that they were true. Our prophet soul is the proof of their prophet soul. Our prophet soul is the proof of their prophet soul. Why do you think everybody who can't stand Jesus, soon as they get into this spirituality shit and they get to speaking and preaching and shit, and then the people turning them down and like, damn, the same shit, the same way they was doing Jesus. Huh. Oh, you think, nigga? You think? Huh. Huh. Makes sense. Because wasn't they telling Jesus the shit that he was talking about was evil and blasphemous and against God? The same shit they say about niggas like us. Rationalization. Right. Rationalization. Rationalization. Like using reason. Okay. Colin Puzzleby says, just order my book for the next book read. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. I gave it out in very ample time this time so everybody can actually have the book. And so don't nobody be late on the book. You see what I'm saying? So everybody in the Discord, everybody, I posted on my stories on social media, on Instagram, and I posted on goddamn YouTube post. Shout out to Wave 636, man. He be posting like a motherfucker on YouTube. That's his social media platform. Salute to you, bro. I'm trying to get like you, bro. Cause YouTube is really where it's at. Anyway, this is how you and I understand that they were true. Our prophet soul is the proof of their prophet soul. Your Godhead is the proof of God Himself. You are not a prophet. If you are not a prophet, there never has been anything true of God. If you are not God, there never was any God and never will be. This, says Vedanta, is the ideal to follow. Every one of us will have to become a prophet. You are that already. Only know it. You just need to know it. Never think there is anything impossible for the soul. It is the greatest heresy to think so. Never think anything is impossible for the soul. It is the greatest heresy to think so. If there is sin, this is the only sin, to say that you are weak and others are weak. Hey, man. Hey, we done, man. Check this out. We can even pull this up next. We'll pull this up next. Think about how weak, listen, man. This is a system. Hold up. This is a system that tells you, hey, you are the power. You are the light. Everything that ever exists and will ever exist radiates, borrows its power from you. This type of system does not allow for you to be weak. This type of system does not allow for you to play victim. This type of system makes you grab life by the gonads. Say, this is your balls. This is my balls. And I got big balls and I'm dropping them. I'm dropping my nuts. God damn it. Not in an egotistical way, but you no longer have to play the game of, oh, they doing this to me, and oh, they doing that to me, they doing this to me, they doing that to me. Nah, I'm taking life in my own hands. Can't nobody do nothing to me. Even when it seemed like they can do something to me, they ain't. And they can't. And guess what? Reality will line up with that. You will be tested. But and who's doing the testing? The mind is going to do the testing. But it will line up with that. All right, Coop said he out. Peace. We just finna run over this real quick, then we finna get up out of here. All right. So what does this say? Let's see. We want a solo layout for this. We're gonna run through this real quick because this is the study guide. For those that are already on the email list, hey, you got this. If you're not, too bad. Yo, ass supposed to been signed up for the email list. God damn it. And checking your email in your spam folder. So this is the study guide that I like to give out for each chapter, right? So here goes the practical nature of origin of Vedanta. Vedanta is meant for daily life, not just retreats, not just forest retreats, right? Because during those times people will go run off in the forest and leave they responsibilities behind. You go learn this shit. Profound Vedanta insights did not emerge only from the monks in solitudes. Kings, warriors, and householders, husbands and wives, and leaders have expressed it in its highest truth. Remember in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke to Arjuna, right? And that whole Bhagavad Gita thing took place on the battlefield. And it's given in that sense to to get you to understand something. You see what I'm saying? To get you to understand something, no matter where you at, you can achieve enlightenment. Nothing stopping you. All right. The secret of work, calm and intensity. The highest Vedanta practice is intense activity combined with internal or eternal calmness. So you can be living in this whole world, going through everything in the world, as long as you embrace this internal and eternal calmness, this silence, this witness aspect. You are not affected. True work is not a mechanical passivity or emotional frenzy. You're not just being a passive ass bitch ass nigga, or you just not being this emotional ass nigga or woman. Neither. It's neither one of those. That does not mean that, oh, I'm peaceful, oh, I'm love. That don't mean that. You don't have to be like that. Effective action springs from calm, collected, unruffled mind. Do you hear that? Effective action springs from a calm, collective, and unruffled mind. History's greatest workers share this profound inner serenity while fully engaged. Fully engaged what? And fully engaged with the world. Two, elevating life to the ideal. The danger of compromise. Many people lower spiritual ideas to justify worldly habits. This is called an apology for selfishness. No, live up to a higher standard, nigga. Live up to the cosmic principle, nigga. Pull yourself up to it. Don't bring it down and lower it so you can justify the fuckery. Vedanta's command, what is that? Lift life to the ideal. Never lower the ideal to fit your weakness. Instead, transform your life to match the highest spiritual vision. Vedanta's central truth. Thou art that. Twat Tawamasi. You are divine, right? You are that divinity. You are that unconditional consciousness. You are pure existence itself. You are love. You are silence. You are the observer. C, redefining atheism. So everybody else called atheism what? The belief in not in disbelief in a personal God. But what they call it over here, what's atheism? It is lack of faith in oneself and the glory of one's own soul. Ain't that the same thing? Especially if you know you are the God. So lack of belief in yourself and lack in belief in a personal God is the same thing. D, error. They call it, instead of calling it error, they call it, instead of calling it sin, they call it error. Vedanta rejects the concept of sin as an inherent depravity. So you wasn't born into this motherfucker as no fucking sinner. They ain't rocking with no shit like that. Instead, it speaks of error. The greatest error, hold up. The greatest error is to believe oneself weak, miserable, sinful, or powerless. That's your greatest error. To believe yourself as weak, miserable, sinful, and powerless. Every negative self perception becomes one more link on the chain of bondage. Every time you confirm that you're depressed, every time you confirm that you're down, every time that you confirm this, and every time you confirm that, you adding the chains to your goddamn bondage. You adding the chains to your slavery because you attaching yourself to that. You identifying with that. Over here, we identify with the P, pure unconditioned consciousness. I am not the doer. Nature is the doer. Nature starts with the mind. Remember that. Nature starts with the mind. That made somebody leave, but it's okay. E, manifestation and innate purity. Purity is not something to acquire, it is already within you. So we're not on a spiritual journey. We think we are. We think we are. We think we on a spiritual journey. That's not the reality. You are already that you are searching for. And that's what we're doing here. We're here to uncover what you think you're looking for. Spiritual growth is removal of the veil of ignorance. That's what he said. Your infinite purity. You are infinite purity. Freedom, love, and power always exist, awaiting full manifestation. 3, oneness and universal applicability, right? Oneness. That's the core principle. It's only one. All existence is one life, one word, one reality. All right. Apparent differences are only of degree, not of kind. B. Universal brotherhood of all beings. The one is included is animals and all living creatures. That idea that animals exist solely for the benefit, for human benefit, is false. If humans are immortal, then so are animals. A god partial to humans, but a god partial to humans but cruel to animals would be the worst. Would be worse than a demon, is what he said. All right. C. Ethical implication. So what's the ethical implication here? The spiritual ideas is to refrain from harming any being recognizing all his brothers. And I say, hey, I agree and disagree. If I got to, or we can, throw a couple punches around this motherfucker if need be. But I respect every human being. So it would definitely have to be a motherfucker. And you know what I'm saying, did something to me. I ain't just going out and you know what? Fuck this. What's up, nigga? That ain't me no more. It ain't me no more. But don't push me. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. Practical steps for realization. A. Faith is oneness. Faith and oneness. Faith and oneness is the most essential practical tool for spiritual progress. The self faith empowers all great individuals. Daily affirmation of truth. Constantly affirm. What's that? I am birthless. I am deathless. I am blissful. Omniscient. Omnipotent. Omnipotent. I mean, I always fuck that word up. Ever glorious soul. Direct quote from Swami Vivekananda. All right. Say that every day. I'm birthless. I'm deathless, blissful, omniscient, omnipotent, and ever glorious soul. These affirmations should saturate your entire being, elevating all actions. Power of thought. Matter may be powerful, but thought is omnipotent. Fill your mind with your own majesty, your own glory, your own strength, your own freedom. Replace superstitions, replace superstitious fears and paralyzing ideas of weakness. Replace those things. Get those things out of your being. Oh, I can't do this because Mercury in retrograde. Oh, I can't do that because the moon is not on my. If that's what you're already working with, okay, fine. But we're talking about moving beyond it. It's really no judgment, but it's just like you can't move beyond that because you are beyond that. Those things get their existence from you. D. Discrimination, which is what they call viveka or viveka. Use discrimination in daily life to evaluate every thought and action. That which promotes oneness and love is true. We're gonna start right there, God within, y'all, because y'all already got this. We just running through it. That which leads to separation, hatred, or division is false and criminal. E. God within. The unknown God people seek is, in truth, the self within. Do you hear that? The God that you don't know that you're trying to find. That's why we trying to find it. That's why it's unknown. That's why we're trying to find it. In truth, it is the self within. You can't find it because it's you. Why you think it's so hard to find God? I'm trying to get right with God, bro. Trying to get right with God, bro. Yeah. You can't because you can't get right with yourself. It's you. It's you who you looking for. The role, oh no. The self is infinitely nearer than any external object. Like the Upanishad say, it's nearer than the nearest, and farther than the farthest, and closer than the closest. Paradox. All knowledge arises through the self itself. Y'all should have this in y'all. What's the name? We just want to go over that, and I want to finish this up. And everybody has voted that we will continue to Vedanta part 2, in 3 and 4. So we got 3 more chapters left. Hold up, I'm missing something. What do you think about the free will being our only interpretation of the Gunas? Hold up. Damn. What do you think about our free will, being only our interpretation of the gunas. Well, here's the thing with free will. The will is already set up by the gunas. You can only be active, you can only be active, you can only be dormant, and you can only be in that balancing state. So hey, free will, hey, do you got it? Ultimately, I say on the ultimate level, no. On the ultimate level, no. On the ultimate level, no free will. Because remember, we went through that the last time. Because will ain't even free. Will ain't even free. For you to even use will, there has to be some form of pressure. You see what I'm saying? And pressure is a lockdown, is a bondage. So ultimately, will is not even free. But, and in the words of Sri Ramana Maharishi, he says the only free will, the only choice you really have in this world is to identify with the self or the mind body complex. That's it. That's the only choice you got. You can run with the gunas and the elementals and let them run your life, or you can identify with pure unconditioned consciousness. It's the only thing you got. Still listening, brother. You delivering. Appreciate it, Ray. Lack of faith is in self is atheism. Facts. Got him out of here. So ultimate, see, here's the thing about it. We free already. You was already free. Then you come up with concepts like free will that actually put, ain't that a paradox? We come up with concepts of bondage which actually make us bound. We come up with concepts of freedom which already insinuates that we are bound and we're not free. That's the trick that humans place on themselves. We do it. Listen, everything we doing that shit to ourselves, bro, as a human race. Because that's what the mind does. It wants to give you something to do. The mind, the ego, it wants to give you something to do. So it's got to give you something to do. Okay, what can we do? Okay, what can we do? Oh, let's say we need to get freedom. I didn't know I wasn't free. What are you talking about? Yeah, nah, fuck that. Let's say we need to get freedom. So we need to be free. So that means let's come up with a word called bound, enslaved and locked in the matrix. Yeah, let's come up with that shit so we can have salvation. Yeah, that's gonna make this shit fun. Let's do that type shit. We come up with these concepts. You were never bound. You were never not free if you're identifying with the true self. You're not. So true. The best disguise is the human body due to the lack of humans looking within themselves. Facts. Facts. Ruby Swarty says bound. Colin Puzzle P says thanks for the clarity. Yeah, y'all. That's it, y'all. That's it for today, really. And if anybody got any questions before we get up out of here, anybody got any other questions? Any question? Let's run it. Let's see what it is. All the amount of time that I spend with my goddamn self, y'all have had some questions that have challenged me and made me think like, goddamn, okay, bet. So anybody got any questions? Other than that, we finna end it, y'all. All right, I don't see no questions. What you talking about? Oh, he said Allah hear us. Just kidding, I'm not Muslim. It's all good, bro. We play around over here too. It wouldn't matter if you was a Muslim, bro. This still a safe space for you. So anybody Muslim watching, we got people watching, but ain't nobody dropping nothing in the chat. Okay. All right, we're gonna go and get out of here, y'all. Remember, as always, no obstacle will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. There aren't any obstacles. There are only opportunities for you to prosper over pain. What's that prosper? It don't just mean money. It can mean, but that's not all it means. What it also means is there's an opportunity for you to have realization of yourself. Remember, what's our standard operating procedure? Stand on principle. Stand on purpose. I appreciate y'all. It's always love. We'll be back again next Sunday to get into practical Vedanta. Chapter 2. Stand on motherfucking P. As Cosmic Puzzle Piece likes to say. Peace, y'all.